Everyone, Rev Nation here, and boy, this didn't take long. I found a Ford Maverick for MSRP, and I am most likely going to proceed forward with it. So, unfortunately, it is not sitting on the lot at this time, but it is due to arrive the second week in July. So we shall see how it, all shakes out. But what I do have is the Monroney here, and I will break it all down for you. Let me get myself out of the way here. So as you can see, what did I find? So I found a 2023 Lariat Tremor, all-wheel drive, of course, with the Lariat Lux package and Copilot 360 and a couple other small things. But this was one of the specs that I was at. But this was not listed for MSRP. So let's get through it. We'll go through it, and then I'll show you how we did everything. And then I'll show you my proof. So this is just a really cool setup. So we got a cactus gray exterior. Here's all the standard equipment that it comes with. So the Lariat package is actually pretty good, but in my opinion, what it comes with is a lot of things that are becoming standard equipment that a lot of other manufacturers are no longer making you pay for it. Things like push button start, keyless entry, remote start, just basic stuff like a Sirius XM radio connection or wireless Apple CarPlay. And this doesn't even have wireless Apple CarPlay to the best of my knowledge, unless they change something. I believe it's still wired. So they are a little bit, dragging behind, but that just kind of speaks to the Maverick itself and that price point, right? Like they had to cut out a bunch of those things in order to make this Maverick the super affordable, entry-level compact pickup truck that it is. Now, the version that I'm looking at is not so much that, because once we can see getting down into here, so you guys can, pause this and read the screen. I'm not going to do full story time. So how much is the equipment group 500A? That's $2,220. So that's just starting off. And then we're going to get down into the Tremor off-road package. And so what do you get with the Tremor off-road package? Well, you get a 1-inch lift, you get a completely different bumper that has better approach angles, you get skid plates, you get different off-road driving modes, and then a rear suspension that has almost the same thing as a locking rear differential, but it is powered by a dual clutch, like brake calipers and everything like that. It's a really cool technology, and it works really well. It works just as good as a traditional, pin locking rear differential, in my opinion. And I've owned a Tremor, so I would know. But yeah, so you get a lot for that package, and then obviously you get the premium wheels and all the styling and everything like that, and the Tremor accents inside on the exterior. Just a really, really cool package. A lot of people kind of talk smack about it, but I think you actually really get a lot for just under $3,000. Now going down, we got the Lariat luxury package, which is another $2,610. And then one thing that they are doing now is they're charging you twice for the Copilot 360. You can see it's $650, and then down here the Copilot 360 Assist package, which is another $750, and there is no way of getting around that. So yeah, a lot of spendy upgrades, right? So that equipment group plus the Lariat Lux package, that's almost $5,000 right there. And then everything else, right? So now our base MSRP over here is $28,355. I'll be getting $9,375 worth of options, bringing it to $37,730 destination, and our final total MSRP is $39,325, which is a lot for a Ford Maverick. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not trying to dismiss that, right? That is a ton of money for any vehicle, really. But what I kind of wanted to show everybody is, you are getting quite a bit for, so check that out. Just a great looking car right here. And there's a bunch of pictures of me and my wife. But I just love the Tremor accents. You can see, zoom in there. The wheels are great. The machining on those is fantastic. I know you probably can't see it all that well in the video. But you got your Lariat badge right there, your Tremor logo, and then you've got, the little keypad for Ford. I've never used these, so if I could option out of that, I definitely would. So, and we've got the orange tow hooks, and then you'll get into the front there, and you can see the orange insert into the grill that looks really great. Blacked out Ford emblem. Really cool grill styling. It's like they've got these little slots and openings and stuff. It provides a little bit more air. Really great looking headlights that just work really well into the body. And they do have a flush paint job here, so you don't have like El Cheapo plastic door handles, which is great. The only thing that I don't love is the rear bumper, which will be in one of the other pictures that I show you here. Now that is the picture from the rear, and this is the exact color that I'll be getting to, which I think looks great. It's not necessarily my favorite color for the Tremor. I do think that black and Atlas blue are they just pop a little bit more because there's just a bit more of a contrast. But this looks super clean. It's subdued. It's not really like in your face. It looks like a color that's going to kind of hide filthiness a little bit better than something like a black truck, right? Like you wash it and then drive it down the road and it already looks like crap again. So this is great for that. Looking at. So here's my proof. Let me grab this real quick. Scoot it on over here. All right. And how did I find this? I found this on Auto Trader, and it ended up being from the absolute last dealership that I thought would make a deal with me, and that is a Coons dealership up in Woodbridge, Virginia. So they had this Tremor listed for $5,000 over MSRP. I called and I talked with the sales manager, and I had a very kind of frank conversation with them. And I was like, hey, look, I'm in the industry. I know a lot about Mavericks. I, did my homework, and I know for a fact that these are not in that high of demand. Lariat Tremors, right? The Tremors in general just didn't do as well as Ford had planned. And that's why I was able to get mine after 4 months, of putting in my order. I had my Tremor. And that was when there was umpteen, delays and everything like that. So those of you who are ordering here pretty soon, if you want a Tremor, you're probably going to be able to get one relatively quickly. So what do we got? Now it says, hey, I've attached a window sticker in my incoming Tremor in this email. Here's the price breakdown. The breakdown does factor North Carolina state taxes. So we have the sales price, which you all saw on the window sticker, right? So he was able to get them to accept MSRP for a bit of like a written guarantee. Hey, when this arrives, I will be there with a check, right? And if the deal doesn't come through for me, then well, they can take their chances selling it on the lot, because they had no one in line for this. They've had no inquiries, and it's about to arrive. It's going to arrive within the next week or so. If they had more demand on this, I probably wouldn't have been able to get this deal. So that kind of goes to my next point, is you need to look for the Mavericks that might not necessarily be exactly what you want. Something like a front-wheel drive EcoBoost XLT or XL, probably not super high in demand, right? Because it's a two-wheel drive gas engine, and it's not the hybrid. Virtually almost none of the hybrids are going to be in low demand. But the ones that are, I would say, are more the Lariats, just because they are at that higher price point, right? And the dealership can't really throw those $10,000 and $15,000 market adjustments on it, and they're much more likely to make a deal on that. And that's how I was able to get this deal, because I called them just like you all can, because you'll do your research. You go to like Car Edge or a bunch of other websites to where you can see actual pricing and what people are actually paying. And then you can go and say, hey, I know that the vast majority of these have been selling for $40,000 out the door. Why do you think that I should pay $48,000 before tax, tags, and fees? How much sense does that make? Especially when now the order banks are opening up. So now's the time to strike, because you're going to have that argument of, hey, I can just order one of these on the 17th. Like, why am I going to mess around with this bullshit with you? And I can put in a factory order at MSRP and whatever other rebates that I can get, maybe get a good interest rate and, first responder credits and military, etc. Or I could, monkey around and be $15,000 upside down by this time next year. that would be idiotic. And that was kind of the frank conversation that I had with this gentleman. And that's exactly what I told him. I was like, look, man, if you guys don't want to sell this, I will just go and order one and my life will not be any worse, right? Now, I found one that is pretty close to what I was going to be ordering. And I am willing to make a deal if you are willing to make a deal. And I'm serious. And you know, and one thing that I did offer is to use their preferred lender, which I don't really care about any of that, nor should you, because you can refinance your auto loan. Obviously, credit approval and all that stuff, but generally you can refinance your auto loan pretty easy if you are not exactly happy with the lending that you got from the dealership. So I just wanted to let everybody know I did in fact find a trimmer at MSRP that was not listed for MSRP. So pick up the phone, call, you know, understand what you're doing, and they're not going to play around with you. They're either going to tell you straight up, hey, no, we're not interested, or, you know, if they are smart, they're willing to make a deal. Don't pay over sticker price, folks. You'll be able to get your Mavericks without doing that, and I will continue to try to help you out and try to ramble a little bit less. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and I will let you all know once this thing actually arrives. And we'll do some footage at the dealership, so I'm excited. Thanks, folks. We'll see you.